guys, and welcome to my channel. How are you doing today? So here on Abby the Witch, we talk about witchery among other things. And today I was going to talk to you about my personal meditation practice or routine and candle gazing as well. I've talked about this briefly before. I did a video a few months ago going over my altar routine, and meditation and candle gazing was a part of that altar routine. However, I very briefly touched on it, and I feel that it deserves its own video. I believe that this really deserves its own spotlight for sure. I've also had people reach out to me and wonder how I get into such a deep meditation, how I've gotten to where I'm at today with my meditation. So here you go, this video is for you. Meditation can be used, and forgive me, I have all of my notes here, so I'll be looking down a lot. I'll try not to so much. Meditation can be used for and done in many different ways, okay? There are a lot of benefits to meditation. Some use it for mental health, some use it for sleeping, and some use it for spiritual practice. I personally use it mostly for spiritual reasons, specifically divination. When I meditate, this is when I eyelid scry, and this is when I receive a lot of my clairaudient messages. And even if you don't use meditation for spiritual purposes, this video could still help you get into a more meditative state. I have found that this routine really works for me, so maybe it could benefit someone else. So how I'm gonna do this video is I think I'm going to talk you through step by step what my meditation looks like. And then at the end, I'll show you me actually meditating at my altar and what it looks like in action, okay? So for me personally, this routine was the routine that I strictly stuck to when I first began my meditative practice. Even though I'm still working on mastering the skill of meditation, and I'll always be learning about it, I've gotten to the point where I can skip some of these steps or do maybe a little bit of a different routine or series of steps. However, this is definitely the routine that got me to where I'm at today. So maybe it can help you too. So let me go ahead and break it down for you and explain step by step how I do my meditation or what my strict routine of meditation is. So the first thing is cleansing your space, cleansing yourself, okay? This is very important. It's important to clean your space and to clean yourself because you could have negativity, you could have bogged down energy that is attached to your space and to yourself from who knows where, right? So it's good to start with a nice clean slate, a nice neutral energy in your space and with yourself too as well. So there's a few different ways that you can actually cleanse yourself and your space. The first and probably most popular way to do it is using smoke, particularly from sage. Now, I could go down a rabbit hole on why you should be careful or why you even shouldn't use white sage at all. There's some ethical reasons to it. People are over harvesting it. You can do that research yourself. However, blue sage is not endangered and is not being over harvested. Blue sage is a great alternative and a great option to use, and it cleanses your space just as well. When I use smoke to cleanse my space, or really anything to cleanse my space, I feel like I always do it counterclockwise when I cleanse my space. I feel like this is unwinding the bad, is unwinding the negative energy that might be attached or lingering in my space, okay? The next thing you can use is sound. I've used a singing bowl, I've used my own voice, I've seen other witches using tuning forks, and I really would like to use tuning forks. That also I tend to do counterclockwise as well. I've also used crystals to cleanse my space before, or to rather charge or balance the energy in my space. So this is a little different from cleansing. I'd probably do this more after I cleansed, but it's still in the same realm. So selenite, I don't have my selenite on me right now. Maybe I'll pop a picture up right here, but selenite is a great crystal for charging And it does clear negative energy as well. So after I really cleanse my space with smoke or sound, sometimes I'll go in with selenite to kind of get the residual poor energy and even charge my space as well. I'll just sweep it across my space, nothing crazy. Sometimes I also put clear quartz on my altar or my sacred space. I feel that clear quartz is a great energy balancer, okay? It's a great energy bank. It balances your energy. You can do withdrawals of good energy. I feel like this really makes your space more balanced. I've also used salt and salt water to cleanse before. Now I know salt can be more of a protective ingredient. I also believe that salt is great for cleansing. I have a jar of salt water in my altar. I use that to cleanse my space. I'll just put my fingers in it and kind of go like this around the space that I want to be cleansed. And I've even used that salt water to draw a pentacle on my sacred space as well. Step number 2, grab any props that you might need. So lots of times in my spiritual practice, when I meditate, it's usually not just to receive any messages. Lots of times it is, but a lot of times also it's for a specific purpose, right? I'm either trying to connect more to my spirit guides, I'm either trying to work more with my ancestors, I'm trying to speak to a specific deity, right? So there are certain props or magical items that I use to benefit me. And I always get these things gathered before I really start meditating, okay? So you don't have to keep getting up. So things like crystals, I use labradorite to help me connect to spirit. I view labradorite as a very mystical crystal. So I really feel like it connects you to like a higher plane, right? I might use black tourmaline if I'm meditating and asking my guides for protection, right? If I'm meditating for more protection, I'll grab my black tourmaline or black obsidian. Black onyx, I heard, can help with protection as well. I've also used sodalite too to quiet my mind. Amethyst can help you. It's a booster. Clear quartz is also a booster. So there's all kinds of crystals out there with specific purposes that can help you depending on what you want to meditate on. I also use herbs. I've used wood sorrel, which grows wildly in my area, to connect better with my ancestors. Different figurines. Now, me, I usually have all my figurines already on my altar. However, if it seems to be out of reach, my altar is really long, I'll grab my figurine, which is usually my Baphomet. I will put him in front of me while I meditate. Headphones. Now, I'm gonna go deeper into this, but when I first started meditating, and even now sometimes I still do this, when I first started out meditating, I would always listen to some kind of music, some kind of meditation music. So the next step is getting cozy. This is actually a really important step, okay? If you are not comfortable during your meditation, you're gonna get really distracted. It's not gonna work. At least it hasn't for me. I can't just be in a weird contorted position and still be able to meditate. I usually have to be very, very comfortable. I have a day bed next to my altar space. I know not everyone has that. I'm lucky to have that. I don't even use that every time though. Lots of times I will use a specific blanket that I really love and I will keep it next to my altar space and I will just fold that up and sit on that. I've used pillows before. I've used couch cushions. I've used ottomans. I've used my yoga mat. So anything that you have in your house that you don't mind putting on the ground to sit on, use it. You don't have to go out and buy like some really fancy yoga pillow or whatever. Just use whatever you have that's comfortable to sit on. Okay, so once you're comfortable, you can move on to the next thing, which is finding your music. Now, again, you don't have to have headphones and you don't have to listen to music, but if you are starting out or you find yourself struggling trying to get into that meditative state, I would definitely suggest trying to use music. Music can be a great way to send your mind into another dimension, okay? There are all kinds of music, all kinds of meditation music out there on YouTube, on Apple Music, on any kind of platform that has music. You can definitely look up music for free to listen to. I love Izzy's daughter. She's also over on Instagram. She makes her own music, and it definitely helps me get into that trance-like meditative state for sure. I've also wanted to try different frequencies. There's definitely different frequencies out there that is designed to put you into a meditative state or cleanse you or all kinds of things. It depends on the frequency, but if you just look up on YouTube frequency for meditating, you'll probably get a gazillion different options to choose from. Okay, so once your space is cleansed, you have all of your tools, you're cozy, you've picked your music, it is time to light your candle and start candle gazing. Now, lighting your candle can happen honestly anytime before candle gazing. You can do this very first if you want to. The order of steps isn't super important, but this is just kind of the order that I do it in, and I think it's easier when you're first starting out to follow an order of steps until you get your own routine kind of down. So before I forget to mention, with lighting your candle and candle gazing, it could really, really help you. In fact, I would really highly suggest if you're just starting out doing this to do this in a very dark room, okay? Or at night, right? When all the lights are off. Do this when it is very, very dark. When it is very, very dark, candle gazing is even more. When you do this in the dark, the flame that you're going to be staring at is going to be even more captivating. It is going to glow and really get you into that trance, okay? I've gotten to the point where I can candle gaze when it's in a light room. However, it's way more effective when it is in the dark, okay? So you light your candle, and as you are gazing at the flame, breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Deep, slow breaths, okay? As you are doing this, your breath might start to subconsciously just kind of go back to normal the more you get into a trance-like state. But those deep breaths help you get there, okay, as you're staring at the flame. As you're staring at the flame, try not to blink. If you blink a couple of times, it's fine. You didn't ruin it, okay? Try to just stare and focus on the candle, okay? You will find that your mind really quiets itself. You will find that you go into this almost hypnotic state. So once you've candle gazed for a few minutes, it doesn't have, sometimes for me it takes 30 seconds, sometimes it takes 10 minutes, okay? Time doesn't matter, all right? Candle gaze until you feel like you're ready to go on to the next step. So the next thing you need to do is, when it feels right, is to close your eyes, okay? Gaze into the candle until you're in a trance, and your body will tell you when it's time to close your eyes. You will feel your eyes start to close on its own, at least I do, or your guides will tell you when to close your eyes. Don't fight it, don't question it, just close your eyes, okay? When you feel it's right, you'll know when it's time to close your eyes, okay? I have before closed my eyes too early, and my spirit guides have told me, no, you need to open your eyes and keep gazing at the candle. It's not time yet. Okay? So you will know when it's time, when it's an appropriate time to close your eyes. So once you have decided it's time to close your eyes, it's time to meditate. And this is kind of just like a natural next step. Once you candle gaze, you're in that trance and you've closed your eyes, you're meditating after that. It's not really something that you have to else that you have to do. The candle gazing, the trance, and all that naturally get you to the point where you can meditate, okay? Some people use Tritaka or candle gazing as meditation itself. They just gaze at the candle and that's their meditation. I personally use Tritaka to get me to the point where I can meditate. After I close my eyes and I am meditating, I use this as my divination. I will look for messages behind my eyelids. I call this eyelid scrying. I also get a lot of clairaudient messages during this time, not always, but sometimes. I also feel physical sensations, tingles in my toes, hands. My hands tend to get very warm. My crystals tend to get very, very warm. And it's kind of, at least for me, it's crazy how much Tritaka and meditation will open my third eye and how much information I can receive. This is also a great time for affirmations, okay? So as I'm meditating, if I have been struggling with anything, when you are in that trance-like state, and you can even start doing your affirmations while you're candle gazing if you would like. But after I close my eyes and I start meditating, this is when I start my affirmations. So for example, if you struggle with anxiety, you could say something like, I have control over my nerves. I have peace in my life. That is called a mantra or an affirmation, right? This is called mantra meditation. I do it a lot. You don't have to give yourself affirmations or mantras. If you feel like you would rather just receive messages and that's where you want to start, that's fine. Affirmation is just an added benefit to this because when your mind is really, I call it like open and soft. Sounds kind of weird, but doing these things like Tritaka and meditating, my mind is very receptive to things I tell it, right? It's almost like a zombie-like state, right? And I can tell it anything and it will believe me, right? So if I tell myself, I have control over my nerves and I have peace in my life, my brain goes, I have control over my nerves. I have peace in my life. It's like a zombie and it will do whatever I tell it to do, right? So that's a great time to do affirmations and mantras. Make sure that if you do affirmations and mantras that you say is, I am, okay? Not going to or will. You say it like it's happening now. Not, I will get control over my nerves. I do have control over my nerves, okay? You say it like it's already happened and it's already happening, okay? That's how you make affirmations for yourself. All right, guys, now that I've talked through all the steps and I've kind of talked you through it, now I can show you an actual live action clip of me doing all these things myself. So I hope you enjoy.